hulihan at protestahan. Ito po ang ating topic in our episode for today's episode on the agenda here at the Tribute Hotel, brought to you by Impact Publishing in cooperation with EFG Consulting. Today, we will focus on the government's effort to catch those involved in corruption, especially in flood control projects. Lumabas na po ang ating listahan, yung mga taong involved, and there are arrest warrants, there are Immigration Lookout Bulletin orders. For today, our guest will explain ano ba ang ginagawa ng ating ahensya securing our borders. No less than our Bureau of Immigration spokesperson, si Miss Dana Sandoval. Good morning.
Good morning, Attorney Fred, my former boss. So I'm very afraid to be here because I am facing the questioning of my former boss in the Bureau of Immigration. Magandang umaga po, sir. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng bumubuo nitong forum. And of course, our friends from the media na talagang took time to come and listen to the discussion this morning. I hope maging very productive po ang ating umaga at makapagbigay po tayo ng linaw dun sa ilang mga questions that are usually being asked po by our friends from the media. Thank you.
Straight to the point, Miss Dana. Ano po ba yung Immigration Lookout Bulletin Order? Kasi maraming beses na nasabi, maraming beses na nabanggit na ito ang paraan ng ating gobyerno para maiwasan yung mga pagtakas ng mga sangkot sa corruption.
Yes, Attorney Fred, no, I think it's a misconception that it's something to stop the travel of people who are being investigated on. Kasi ang Immigration Lookout Bulletin, it's really, marami na tayong naririnig na tanong tungkol dyan, especially recently during the flood control investigation. There are questions na, ba't nakaalis si ganito? Di ba nasa Immigration Lookout Bulletin na siya? Pinalusot ng immigration. That's usually the question. Why were these people allowed to leave despite being in the Immigration Lookout Bulletin? The Immigration Lookout Bulletin kasi is different from a hold departure order and a warrant of arrest. Usually, yun yung mga ways to stop the travel of an individual who is facing a case or an investigation. The Lookout Bulletin is issued by the DOJ to monitor the travel of a person. Hindi siya way to stop. It has no legal grounds to stop the travel of anyone. It's more of an orange light when a person is in the Immigration Lookout Bulletin, is encountered sa paliparan, halimbawa. The role of the immigration officer is to pause, orange light to, and check and double check if there are any freshly issued warrants of arrest, hold departure order, or any other order for that matter, barring the travel of the individual. If wala, the person would be allowed to depart, but the details of the travel will be taken, will be jotted down for submission to the Department of Justice para maging part ng investigation.
Just to clarify, Ms. Dana, in other words, yung hold departure order, yun yung talagang stop, red light. And it can only be issued by the courts? Ganun po ba?
Yes. There are actually two ways to stop the travel of an individual being investigated on. Actually, three pa nga eh. The whole departure order, like Attorney Fred mentioned, is issued by the court telling the immigration na, don't allow this person to leave the country because this person is facing a case here in the Philippines and he has to stay to face that case. There's another one, the Precautionary Hold Departure Order. Precautionary kasi hindi pa umaandar yung case, but there is a flight risk. Ito ay ini-issue din po ng courts at sinasabi, it also tells us to stop the travel of this person because a case is being filed against this person and there is a flight risk. He might go out of the country and try to evade the investigation. The third one is not really stopping his travel, but has that same effect kung merong warrant of arrest yung tao. Like in the recent cases, naglabas ang Sandigan Bayan ng several warrants of arrest. If the subject has a warrant of arrest, technically, the BI has no jurisdiction over a Filipino, it was a warrant of arrest. But we include that in our system. So once we encounter that, doon sa system natin, we encounter a person with a warrant of arrest, we inform the police, the NBI, whoever is the agency involved, and they are called to do the arrests, to implement the arrest doon sa person. So technically, the same effect, hindi siya nakaalis kasi hinuli siya. But it's a different order and it's also issued by the courts.
In other words, Ms. Dana, yung mga ini-issue ng courts, warrants, hold departure orders, naka-encode yan sa database ng Bureau of Immigration.
Yes, Attorney Fred. Ano yan? Centralized database that can be accessed by all immigration officers nationwide. So if they try to leave in Zamboanga Seaport, in Davao Airport, in NAIA, it's the same database that they will see.
And having said that, looks like only the courts can stop the travel, not even the Department of Justice nor the Ombudsman?
Hindi po namin mapipigilan. At saka kunwari, ayoko yung mukha ng isang tao. I don't like your face. Masama yung ugali mo. I can't stop your travel. It has to be the court that tells the Bureau of Immigration to stop the travel of a person. And it's also the court that will tell us to allow it already once the case has been settled, natapos na yung kaso, and wala na yung hold departure order against him. It's also the court that will give us the order to remove that person from our derogatory database.
So ang ating lookout bulletin orders, pardon the term, pero mukhang walang kwenta. Hindi pwede talagang mapigilan yung mga taong nakalagay doon sa lookout bulletin order na makalabas sa bansa.
Hindi naman natin siguro, Attorney Fred, masabi na wala siyang kwenta. It's more of the monitoring kasi of their movements. Of course, if a person flees the country, it's good to be monitored kasi it would make an impact eh. It would seem like, ay, you're trying to evade other ano. And of course, yung mga data that we are getting during the interview, when there is a lookout bulletin, we submit that to the Department of Justice. And if the time comes na meron ngang warrant of arrest, example, umandar talaga yung kaso, nakita na talagang dapat siyang kasuhan, at finally meron ng warrant of arrest, we have the information, we have something to start on na andito siya sa lugar na to, in this country, in this address, these are his contact numbers, and that can be used by our law enforcement agencies to start the ball rolling and to start locating him already. Perhaps if outside the country, through the assistance of the Interpol.
I apologize for this question, Ms. Dana, dahil it's been more than many months already that the event has happened. Ano pong kwento doon nangyari kay Ms. Alice Guo? Bakit po ba siya nakawala o nakalabas ng bansa? Ano po ba ang, kumbaga, tunay na storya or ang storya base doon sa datos ng Bureau of Immigration?
Actually, Attorney Fred, I was watching a lot of documentaries about Alice Guo yesterday, and it really got my blood, parang, I don't want to say boiling, no? Heated up. Kasi it was really a big issue, but I think that issue really opened the eyes of a lot of people about the problems of our borders. Kasi it's automatic when someone is out of the country, nawala. Ganyan. It's the immigration. Automatic. That's what people will ask. It's the immigration. It's your fault. Pero with the investigation with Alice Guo, it was a massive investigation, and our lawmakers were really digging into what happened, what were the lapses, what were the areas that needed strengthening. And I think everyone saw that, and it was clarified that it's not just the immigration that's looking and protecting our borders. The immigration is assigned or are posted in the formal ports like the airports, the international seaport. But this case of Alice Guo shows the vulnerability of the country, that there are illegal migration corridors. We're thankful because of that incident, IACAT actually, the Interagency Council Against Trafficking, actually conducted a study. So nagpunta talaga sila dun sa mga tinuturing natin na ginagamit as illegal migration corridor for people to go out and in the country. They traveled all the way there with the entire IACAT team, and they were able to point out several areas that are tinuturing na backdoor. They call it illegal migration corridor. And it was stressed that the importance of the local government unit, the police, and the Coast Guard in monitoring those bay areas, yung massive bay areas natin. It's very important that the local government units and the police strengthen their monitoring of those areas. And nakita po natin recently, natutuwa ako kasi I've never seen this before, that there are so many interceptions na doon sa mga backdoor areas natin. They are arrested by the police, kino-coordinate sa amin. There were even 3 POGO workers who were trying to flee the country through the back door. So the police were coordinating with us because they were trying to check the identities and the records of these guys. And they found out that they were POGO workers and they were facing deportation charges here in the Philippines. So ngayon, ang dami nang nagbabantay, finally, and that vulnerability is already being addressed by the proper authorities. And yun nga, we're happy because border control is really a shared responsibility of several government agencies. Dapat to whole of government approach yung pagbabantay natin dun sa mga borders natin. And we're thankful to be leading this change. And because of this Alice Guo case, kahit napakamasalimuot ng naging effect niya sa amin, at least it opened the eyes of many people about what needs to be done and what needs to be done immediately.